Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now you think that Cuba was sanctioned and an embargo was placed on it? Now watch until I read you this article about Russia. And it seems like Cuba and Russia will play for the championship belt of who got more sanctions imposed on on them. So this article comes from Republic World. It's from September 9th, 2022. This is the title. Russia says Western nations imposed, quote-unquote, record-breaking 11,000 sanctions against Moscow. 11,000. Russia's parliament representative to international organization in Vienna, Mikhail Ulyanov, has said that West has imposed 11,000 sanctions against Russia. Russia's permanent representative to international organizations in Vienna, Mikhail Ulyanov, has said that Western nations have imposed 11,000 sanctions against Russia. Taking to his Twitter handle, Ulyanov said the sanctions imposed against Moscow went unnoticed by Russian citizens. Notably, Western nations have introduced sanctions against Russia ever since Moscow launched an offensive in Ukraine. No, it was actually, they had sanctions before that, if you remember. Mikhail Ulyanov tweeted, the West introduced record-breaking 11,000 sanctions against Russia. The Russian citizens have not noticed that so far. In another tweet, Ulyanov underscored that Western nations for the first time face the quote-unquote consequences of sanctions that they imposed against other nations. And that's true. They always do something and the other side cannot hit back. In this case, got the wrong bug. We will see. It is pertinent to mention here that European Union nations, US and UK, have launched sanctions against Russia to pressurize Kremlin to end the war in Ukraine. So far, European Union has imposed several packages of sanctions against Russia, including trade restrictions, asset freezes and travel bans. As far as the economic sanctions, the EU has imposed import and export restrictions on Russia, which implies that European entities cannot export certain products to Russia and vice versa. Russia coping with West's economic, financial and technological aggression, Putin. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has criticized Western nations for imposing sanctions against Russia. In his address at the plenary session on the Eastern Economic Forum on September 7, Putin said that the COVID-19 pandemic has been replaced by other global challenges which pose a threat to the world. He further said that he was referring to West's sanction fever, which are aggressive attempts to impose models of behavior on other nations. Putin underscored that the collective West has been using this approach for decades. True. As Trump says, true. Like this. True. Putin noted that Russia's foreign exchange and financial markets have stabilized and inflation is reducing. Furthermore, Kremlin leaders stated that the unemployment rate in Russia is less than 4% and called it a historic blow. This epidemic has been replaced by other challenges, also of a global nature, Putin said, threatening the whole world. I mean, the West sanction fever, it's undisguised aggressive attempts to impose models of behavior on other countries, deprive them of their sovereignty and subjugate them to their will, Vladimir Putin said in his speech. Regarding the sanctions, if you impose about 11,000 sanctions, let's say, you expect something to happen in that country and collapse. It's been, 6 months, more than 6 months, when these guys gradually, impose more and more and more sanctions. There's going to be a moment when you don't have anything else to sanction. And I think they're almost there. What else can they do? The else can they do is just, no visas whatsoever for Russians. whatever, that's the rest of the world around, it's not only you guys, or say embargo on oil products, and that would be shooting themselves in the foot. So everything they could exacerbate or impose or aggravate, they will aggravate themselves more than the Russians. It's just that the sanctions, if they, I don't even know what else they can do. I mean, probably they can, but I think the most important sanctions are past, are right there. Nothing really happened in Russia, or if it happened in Russia like this, in West happened like this. So, the West, and when I'm talking about the West, I'm talking about the European Union, the European countries, not the United States. The United States is not hard hit. These guys hit themselves. That's the problem. It makes you think that actually it's a job that these guys, Russia and United States, actually are doing on the Europeans. And Europeans continue to do what the United States tell them to do. As Putin said many times before, you don't have a independent foreign policy, Europe. Your foreign policy is made in Washington, D.C. So how independent are you? You're not. You are not. You imposed sanctions that were imposed by those guys telling you to do it, and you did it. Remember, Europe got 40%, 35% gas and coal and oil from Russia. United States got 3% oil, and they still got it. So they were okay with sanctions imposed against Russia. That's fine. But remember the uranium? No uranium, because the United States gets 15% from Russia. There's no embargo, no sanctions on Russian uranium. But it is on oil and gas, which Europe depends on. Why? Because the United States gets 15% uranium from Russia, and the services, uranium services, to do whatever they do with uranium, I don't know, the process and all that, to enrich it to whatever, then sell it, that's about 28%. It's from Russia that goes to the United States. So no sanctions on that one. So you see, we're going to impose sanctions on things that hurt you but don't hurt us. And we're not going to impose sanctions on things that hurt us as they hurt you. No, if they hurt you only and don't hurt us, yes, you need to impose. Europe, you need to impose those sanctions. Oh my God, you support Putin's war. Blah, blah. You can say, well, what are you going to do with uranium? Money? It's just, if you take it as a principle, it sounds like you don't care. You don't care for certain sanctions. If it hurts you, you care. If it doesn't hurt you, yeah. You gotta impose those sanctions on Russia because it doesn't hurt me. But the second it hurts me, no. We don't impose sanctions on those. Fertilizer, the same thing. Don't impose anything on fertilizer. Why? Because the United States get, I don't know how many, 40% or how much fertilizer from Russia. So no sanctions on that. But on everything else that hurts others, but not, it's so narcissistic. It's clearly that these guys think about their interest, and those guys are not thinking about their interest. They are in the hand of these guys here. That's what it is. They're just followers. And Putin called them out. And the guys are, I hope the population don't get a hold of that kind of information. Putin is lying. No, he's not lying. He's just saying loudly what is really happening if you look around you. I mean, with facts and evidence. It's not like, maybe you just ignore other things. Well, like what? Why not oil? Right now. If Russia is a bad dude, stop oil. You should have stopped it on the 25th of February. No oil, no gas, no coal, nothing. God damn it, Russia, you die. No, it didn't happen like that. Why? It was, you, but not me. Just look around and look at the chronology of events, and you're going to figure out exactly how it happened and who imposed on whom. Remember when Olaf Scholz came to Washington and they all asked him about Nord Stream 2, Nord Stream 2, Nord Stream 2? Why don't you mind your own business? Why do you ask me about Nord Stream 2? Yeah, I'm going to keep that open for my citizens. You. Oh my God! You are on Putin's side. You are an asset. You're this, and he should have said, you know what? I care about my people, not about your people. Bye-bye. Heart attack. Why? Because you tell him the truth. But here's a weasel, not independent. He knows who probably promotes him and who's taking care of his position. So yes. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.